On a distant planet, Gore and his daughter, Love, are starving and desperate for help. They pray to their god, Rapu, for help, but nothing happens. Love dies in her father's arms, and Gore hears a whispering voice calling for him. He finds an oasis filled with fresh water, but accidentally cuts his hand on a sword. He desperately eats until his god Rapu scolds him, laughing at him and declaring that there is no reward for the underdog. The necrosword raises itself into Gore's hand and shows him the steps to acquiring great power, insisting he must kill all the gods. Gore lets the curse take over his body and kills Rapu, swearing he will kill the rest of the gods too. On Indigar, Korg tells a group of aliens the story of Thor, the god of thunder. Raised as a warrior from birth, Thor went on to become a legendary hero, saving the world numerous times and attracting numerous lovers over the years. His true love was a woman from Earth called Jane, who broke up with him years ago. Thor lost his godly physique after losing his family, his mighty hammer Mjolnir, and even his homeland, Asgard. He joined the Guardians of the Galaxy. Thor eventually arrives and joins the Guardians in a vicious fight against bird-like invaders. With Stormbreaker, he easily defeats enemies and destroys a temple. Jane receives a stage 4 cancer diagnosis on Earth, prompting her to explore Asgardian magic for assistance. The people of Asgard have started their new home on Earth, with Valkyrie as their queen. Valkyrie takes over after Thor leaves, but hates the politics and boring meetings. The people of New Asgard have started tours that allow foreigners to see the remaining pieces of Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, which glow when they visit. As a reward for his help, the king gifts Thor 2 screaming goats, and when the group leaves the goats, chaos ensues inside their spaceship. As a result, Gore has killed gods on thousands of planets, earning the nickname God Butcher. Lady Sif, an Asgardian warrior, calls for Gore to leave the Guardians behind so he can return to his people. After the Guardians leave with the ship, Thor uses Stormbreaker to teleport Gore and the goats to Sif's location. They find the skeleton of a huge creature, whom Thor calls the nicest god ever. In the story, Gore arrives at New Asgard and uses the Necrosword to control the shadows and summon monsters. Chaos takes over the city, and flames spread. Valkyrie and Thor join the fight, and a ball of lightning lands in the middle of the battlefield, hitting the monsters. Thor realizes it's Mjolnir and calls for it, but the hammer ignores him and goes to its new owner, Jane. The woman is wearing Thor's clothes and handling Mjolnir like a pro, splitting into pieces to attack multiple monsters before regaining its form. When she takes off her helmet, Thor is shocked to see that it's Jane. A flashback shows their relationship, which became more distant due to Thor's busy missions and Jane's work as a famous scientist. In the present, Thor wants to talk, but Jane wants to concentrate on fighting the monsters. Gore sees him fighting Thor with the Necrosword, and they exchange hits. Gore pins Thor against the car, and when he tries to defend himself, Gore hits him against the car and makes a monster hold him down. Gore tries to take Stormbreaker, but Thor gets frustrated and activates his lightning powers, freeing himself from the monster before pushing Gore off. However, the shadows are still around, releasing monsters inside children's rooms to kidnap them. Every Asgardian kid is inside a cage-like monster, and when Thor and Jane try to go after it, Gore teleports the cage away. Valkyrie holds a meeting with all the Asgardians to decide how to proceed. An argument ensues among the citizens, and Thor raises Stormbreaker, but his powers fail, and he destroys a monument outside. A floating head named Axel, one of the kidnapped kids, brings an illusion of Thor into the cage, revealing their location in the Shadow Realm. The group decides to travel to Omnipotent City to gather reinforcements and sail through the Axe's power. In this text, Thor, Axel, and Jane, along with the rest of the heroes, embark on a mission to defeat the powerful gods in Omnipotent City. They face various challenges, including Zeus, who is known for his naughty parties and sacrifices. Despite their initial misunderstandings, Zeus eventually calls Thor to the central stage, where they fight against the guards and use his thunderbolt to show off his tricks. The team successfully defeats Zeus' guards, but they also face challenges from Korg, who is still alive on his face. The gods summon Valkyrie, who aids in their escape by tying Korg's face to her hair and calling the goats to smash through the window. Valkyrie steals Zeus' thunderbolt, and the team finally escapes. On their way to the Shadow Realm, Thor shows Jane the space dolphins flying near the ship. He admits his love for her and promises to tackle everything together. Jane shares her cancer with him, but Thor shows his support and promises to tackle everything together. They share a kiss when they reach the Shadow Realm, where everything turns black and white. As they arrive, they find that Stormbreaker's rainbow bridge disappears, and the ship lands on a desolated planet. They enter a building and find papers with Gor's plans. It turns out that Gor wanted to bring Thor to steal Stormbreaker and use its power to open a bridge into eternity. Janes tells the others that it's a trap, and she throws the Stormbreaker into space to keep it safe. In summary, the story revolves around the team's journey to defeat the powerful gods in Omnipotence City, their encounter with Zeus, and their eventual escape from the Dark Realm. Gor, a powerful Asgardian, arrives and captures Jane and Valkyrie while controlling the shadows. He asks Thor to summon Stormbreaker, which shakes the entire planet and frees them from the shadows. Gor then uses the Necrosword to bring out a bunch of shadow monsters, and another battle begins. Jane and Valkyrie battle the beasts, but Thor's Stormbreaker meets Gor's Necrosword, and the goats have to keep Korg's face away from the violence. Jane reaches out to Valkyrie to rescue her, then brings her to Thor, who uses Stormbreaker to open the bridge. But as they teleport away, Gor and his shadows steal the axe from Thor. The team lands on Earth, and Jane drops Mjolnir, revealing her weak body. Thor takes his friends to the hospital, where the doctor shares bad news that using Mjolnir has killed Jane faster. Thor confesses his desire for more time with her and convinces her to stay. Valkyrie gives him the Thunderbolt, which Thor uses to reach eternity. Gor has finally reached eternity, and he has brought the kids with him. He puts Stormbreaker down to start the process of opening the door, and the whole place shakes, causing a piece of a huge statue to fall. Just in time, Thor arrives to catch it and throw it away. Gor uses the Necrosword to summon monsters, so Thor gathers the children and tells them to grab any object they can find to use as a weapon. They fight against the monsters, using all their might to prove they are worthy as guardians. As the kids clash against the monsters, Thor goes after Gor, keeping up with him until Gor takes the Thunderbolt away. As the door to eternity opens, Gor sees the gate and crosses it, teleporting all three of them. Before Gor can make his wish, Thor looks at a dying Jane and tells him he is looking for love. He spends her last moments together, reminding Gor of his own daughter, Love, who returns before dying from the corruption of the Necrosword. Thor is raising Gor's daughter as his own, teaching her how to control her eternal powers. They often go adventuring together, becoming known as Love and Thunder. When Jane's spirit reaches Valhalla, the Asgardian heaven, she receives an invitation to enter the Hall of the Gods.